And we're live. Hello, hello, hello. I'm Alexandra, founder of Life with Herpes. I'm excited to be live with you today. My apologies for not getting live yesterday. I had a lot of emergency calls and I was on a couple of podcasts, so I was mentally drained. Did not have any more words to say. Anyways, if you are new, welcome. This is your opportunity to ask your questions dealing with living with herpes, what it's like to live with herpes, what it's like to deal with the diagnosis, date, handle outbreaks, handle disclosing, handle, I have to put some lotion on, handle things like foods to potentially consume or foods to avoid, all sorts of fun things like that. If you have been on a live with me before, you know that I get hundreds of questions and I do my best to go in order they are received. And so if you, like I see that Schnell just wrote a comment, sometimes the app doesn't always display them, so do your best to keep them as clean as possible. And if you are someone, hi Shane, if you are someone that is living with herpes, definitely, or you know someone that's living with herpes, please forward my information. I am everywhere with Life with Herpes. And I am here. I've been talking about this publicly since 2017. So I have been dealing with my herpes diagnosis for a very long time. And I have done what I can to just put a repository of information out there so that you can educate yourself and you don't have to go through that Eeyore phase that I was in. So you're saying that you're scared to disclose, but you know you have to. So reasons why we don't disclose is because we're afraid of the rejection is really what it is. And when we're afraid of the rejection, let's just talk about rejection first. So rejection happens, in my opinion, for three reasons. Number one, the person is not emotionally mature to handle the information. You could be 20, 40, 80, it doesn't matter what age you are. It's just if you are emotionally mature to handle the intimacy talk, to handle the whole thing about it. So some people are just not capable. Like, it's silly. You're like, I don't want to talk about that, or oh, that's weird, right? So that's number one. Number two, the person has a core belief that is rooted in them that's not going to change. I like to use the example of religion. If somebody is a Catholic, they're not going to believe the Jewish religion, and if they're Jewish, they're not going to believe the Catholic religion. It's never going to mesh. So same thing about herpes. Some people may have this deep, deep, deep belief of like, ew, gross, that's so disgusting, and that's never going to change. Number three, why rejection happens, and this is the hardest to hear, and this is the most, right, is the person's not into you. So when we disclose, and if we get rejected, and that person's like, oh yeah, peace out, or ew, gross, or whatever, notice if you get a very negative, like, ew, you're so disgusting, I can't believe you would tell me that. That's someone that's not emotionally mature to handle this conversation. You wouldn't want to be with that person anyways. But if it's rejection, then it's because they're just not into you. It wouldn't have worked out anyways. Changing it up, saying, oh, we could have dated for a year and then he would have been into me. No, you're not. If you're not into that person, you're never going to be into that person. So as much as that hurts, it is something that we almost have to look at as a silver lining or a blessing in disguise. And so we can say, okay, I moved on. Okay, this person isn't right for me. Still doesn't prevent the fact that it hurts, and I understand that it hurts. But when somebody is compassionate and into you and wants to know you, the intimacy isn't the most important thing. Yeah, it's important, don't get me wrong. Like, everybody wants to get to that point, but there's more to you and more to your partner. There's more going on. Someone said, hold up, I have herpes. I do have herpes. I have HSV1 and I have HSV2. I have HSV1 oral and HSV2 genital. So yes, I have both types. It's extremely common. 2 out of 3 people have HSV1 and 1 out of 6 have HSV2. So it's extremely, extremely common. It's not included. Herpes is not included in your STI panel. So there's many people that don't think they have herpes, and they do, just because they're not tested for it. back to how to disclose. I would first set your boundaries on what is important to you and what's not important. Is it something casual? Is it something more long-term? What are you looking for? And I would make sure that you have your boundaries set. So for example, if your boundaries are, we have to use a condom and I want to be monogamous with this person. And if the person's like, I don't want to use a condom and I'm not monogamous with you, then you have to know right then and there that you're okay to walk away. And it's not saying it's my way or the highway, and I'm not saying we approach it that way. I say we approach it with what is it that feels comfortable to you, and then let's talk about that together. Because intimacy is extremely, it's a big deal. And I feel over the generations we've made it not a big deal, and it is a big deal, right? It's a very big deal. You're sharing a beautiful thing with this. PIs, STDs, have you gotten checked? And I've gotten checked, and the reason why it's important to me is, I'm negative for these things, I'm positive for this one. Let's go get checked together, and just make it something like that. What questions do you have about HSV? What questions do you have about herpes? Do you know anybody that's had herpes before? And again, if you get someone that's like, ew, gross, right? Not emotionally mature. Goodbye. If you get someone that's like, you know what, that's just not going to work for me, then either that's a deep-rooted belief of, I just can't get past it, or they're not into you. And it could be a combination of both. That person's just not into you. Because that person may be okay with herpes, but not okay with you. Like that person may be okay to take the risk, but not okay to take the risk with you, right? And so it's just giving that person that opportunity. And I can think back about dating, and it's like there's certain people I would have said like, yeah, tell me more, let's talk about this. And there's other guys I would have dated and they would have been like, nope, peace out, right? And it's just a matter of where you and that partner are. The other thing about rejection, again, you have just T-balled it for that person. So if that person is not into you and is just into you for the intimacy, or just into you for this week, or just into you for the summer, or whatever, you T-balled it. It was so simple for that person to be like, I'm not sure. So again, we have to look at these in positive lights in order to know that this person isn't right for you. Guys, I am seeing the follows. Thank you for the follows. I appreciate that. Like I said, I've been talking publicly about this since 2017. And again, my purpose here is to educate. My purpose here is to provide information. I have lots of information on my website. I have toolkits. I have a support group you can join if that's interesting to you. You want to join a support group. We go live within the community twice a week, every Monday. So I have a lot of resources for people. So thank you for the follows and sharing it to people that you have herpes. What's the difference between 1 and 2? Not really anything that different, Allie. So HSV1 is the most common. 2 out of 3 people have HSV1. HSV2 is 1 out of 6 people have HSV2. It's not as common, but it's still common. HSV1 and HSV2 can be in either location. So you can have oral HSV1 or oral HSV2. You can have genital HSV1 or genital HSV2. Most commonly, or what it's been until we were starting to diagnose people and actually do testing on them. But most commonly, HSV1 is associated with oral herpes and HSV2 is associated down there. However, now we have just as many people getting diagnosed with HSV1 genital down there as they are with HSV1 oral, or as they are with HSV2 genital. So it is extremely common. Yeah, herpes is so common. So. Can you give birth naturally with HSV2? Okay, so I want to clarify. I learned in my pregnancy classes when I was pregnant and having my baby. So A natural birth is a vaginal birth with no drugs. So it's a birth with no epidural. So if you would like to have a natural birth with no epidural, you are more than welcome to. A vaginal birth is a birth vaginally with and you would say I had an epidural. So I had a vaginal birth, I had an epidural, and yes, it's absolutely positive to have a vaginal delivery, and you do not have to have a C-section if you have herpes, genital herpes. So yeah, if you have an outbreak at the time, you have to have a C-section, obviously. They don't want the baby to come in contact with it. But if you don't have an outbreak, typically your OBG is going to ask you to be on an antiviral prior to your due date. So whether it's 4 weeks or getting close to it, your doctor is going to put you on the antiviral to have a vaginal delivery. You and your husbands are goals and so adorable together. I love you guys. Thank you, Shane. I appreciate that. I love my husband. I work at the eye doctor. They would have shingles, a form of herpes, but their eyes, yeah. So you can get ocular herpes, and apparently Allie's saying you can get shingles in your eyes. So shingles is part 2 of the chickenpox virus. So when you get the chickenpox, you get an outbreak, it goes dormant, and if it may populate later on in life. And so herpes is the same, it's a cousin virus. It's also part of the family, and it can become ocular herpes. I mean, it can get in your eye. So you want to be very careful of getting ocular herpes. When do you disclose? I would say, Maya, whenever you're ready to be intimate with that person. Going on dates, getting together, hanging out doesn't mean you're going to be intimate with that person. And so I think it's important for you to decide when you're going to be intimate. So if you're just going out and do I like this person? Do I not like this person? There's no reason to disclose until you're ready to do that. So, of course, if it's something casual and that's the intention, like I'm, DTF, right? Then you would disclose as soon as you possibly can. But if it's something like, I don't know if I like you, I'm dating, let's see, do we want to have dinner again? All these things, then I would continue with that. I wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't want my child to have a chance of getting it from their mother. So there's lots of ways, and you, for moms that are pregnant and have HSV genital, I recommend you get on the same page as your doctor. You may not feel comfortable, and that's totally cool. You talk to your doctor about that, and you and your doctor get on the same page. If you want one thing and your doctor says, I think it should be something else, talk to other doctors, get other opinions. This is your birth, this is your child's birth, whatever you feel comfortable with. Does having HSV1 protect someone against HSV2? It actually does. So most people that have A type, so one type or the other, most likely are not going to get the other type. The viral DNA is similar enough that our immune system typically can recognize it. However, I have both. I have type 1 and type 2. I have both types. So it is possible to get both types. My fear is my face being plastered all over the internet after disclosing because people can be cruel. They can be cruel. I would invite you to look at who is it that you are disclosing to. And if this person is going to react in that manner, this might be someone that you shouldn't be intimate with, right? If this is someone that's going to be an a-hole, then why would we want to be intimate with this person, right? And again, this goes back to this person isn't emotionally mature to handle the conversation. So I understand where you're coming from, though. You don't want this to get out. You don't want to, all these things. Again, that's why I would wait to see if you're ready to be intimate with this person. You want them to do a movie or a document. I know, they really should. I heard about Lysine from this account and it's made miracles. Yay, I'm so happy. I'm so, so happy. So speaking of lysine, I have it here. These are the supplements that I personally take daily. So lysine is an essential amino acid. It's a protein that helps block the replication of the herpes virus. I have it linked for you if you want to check it out. It is awesome, and it does. It works miracles. It works great. I take this daily, and it has helped me with my prodrome or help speed up recovery. The next thing I take is Monolaurin from the same company, and Monolaurin is lauric acid. It is originally found in human breast milk, mommy's milk, and it basically helps dissolve the outer shell, the enveloped virus. An enveloped virus has a shell around it, so this helps break up that shell and allows our immune system to penetrate it. I take this daily. This is derived from coconuts. And then I also take Andrographis, which is awesome, 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 and very potent with the HSV virus. So these are the supplements I take daily. They have been out of lysine for like the past 6 weeks, and it just came in. So if you guys have been out of lysine, definitely go place your orders now. It is ready to go. So it's all linked in the bio for you. Make sure you use the promo code LWH. You get 10% off. Yeah, I take this daily. Do you worry about passing it to your children and if you take a bath with an outbreak or touch a sore? So I don't take a bath with an outbreak. I make sure that my son doesn't touch my sore. I understand the concern and fear of that. Like, oh no, like what if? So I don't take a bath with my son if I have an outbreak. Am I concerned about it? Not from me. There's, like I said, 2 out of 3 people have HSV1, so there's many, many millions of people out there that have it. You know, like my son has 4 teachers in his class, so statistically one of the teachers has it. You could say, well, what if the teacher, what if he drinks his teacher's water, or what if the teacher shares something? I don't think they do that anymore, but what if? You know, he can go over to other people's houses. He has people in his life that have it, that are in his life daily. So he's going to be exposed to it, not necessarily from me, but from other people. I'm glad lysine's become your best friend. Thank you so much for sharing the information. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Can you still take the supplements with the antiviral Valtrex, valcyclovir, acyclovir? Yes, you can. I'm not a doctor, so definitely speak to your doctor. These are the supplements I take. I recommend doing your own research, but they are to supplement your diet. So they do not have any interactions with the antiviral. Can you take lysine while pregnant? I did not. There are not studies in it. And I just got a text from my best friend. She's in labor. Okay. I did not take them while I was pregnant. Probably some people do. There's no studies on it, so I didn't. Also good for working out. I don't know about that for lysine. How many milligrams daily? What are and the other supplements? So it'll be listed on the bottle. I take 1,000 a day, and then if I have an outbreak, I take more. For Monolaurin, there is information when you purchase it about how much to take based on your size, your weight, male, female, all of those things. Yes, and changing your diet also is very helpful by having a high lysine, low arginine diet. Also eating clean foods, keeping your immune system strong can also help you. Technically, you could sue someone knowingly gave it to you. Potentially that can happen. Every state's going to be different. Yes, there are people that have sued for herpes transmission. You have to prove it. It's going to be a very difficult trial. You're going to have to display your entire intimacy and past partners and all sorts of things. Personally, I say move on. It doesn't change that you have it. It's just going to open up Pandora's box. But anyways, if someone doesn't have a symptom for HSV1, I'm assuming oral, and they share a drink with you, can you get it? Yes, technically, yes, you can if the virus is shedding. So it's going to be more difficult. Obviously, if you have an active outbreak, an active cold sore, and share something like a chapstick or a drink, it can transmit a lot easier. But viral shedding is asymptomatic. You don't know that you are contagious. And so a lot of times people accidentally transmit it. So yes, you can. Do I worry about that? I don't. I can't worry about it. This is just how I live my life. You do what you feel comfortable with. Can you take the supplements while pregnant? No, you cannot. I mean, you can if you want, but I don't take the antiviral. I take the supplements. I no longer take antivirals. I used to take antivirals, and I'm just at a point in my life where I just don't want to be on any medications, and I take supplements for them. You're nervous around your children that you're accidentally going to give it to them. I understand where you're coming from. You don't want to transmit it to your child, but I want you to realize that your child can pick it up really from anywhere. Your child can pick it up from going over to a friend's house, to a cousin's house, to your parents' house, to really anywhere, and your child can pick it up as well. So again, it's not just you that has herpes. You're not like the only one that is in your child's life. So when you start looking, and other people aren't necessarily worried about it, right? All right, guys. Can you get it from a toilet seat? I mean, it'd be very, very difficult. Have I heard of people getting HSV2 in really weird places? I have. Is it common? No. It's skin to skin. So the virus likes to be skin to skin. I would say that the toilet seat, the person would have had to touch the toilet seat with their active outbreak, okay? Then someone would have had to sit down immediately after with an open wound and transmit it that way. Do I disclose before kissing people? That is a great question. I never did. I have HSV1. I've had it since I was 20, and no, I never disclosed. Now, knowing what I know today, would I? Yes. Did I? No. So that's how I would take that. All right, guys. Hope you enjoy your Wednesday. I will as well. If you're taking the medication, can you pass it to your partner? Unfortunately, you still can. It's still not 100% that you would not transmit it. Just really quick, I haven't talked about, we have our soap back in stock. This is our Reviver soap. It's the one that we have back in stock is actually not multicolored, but this is the best soap. It's specifically for a genital outbreak. I love it. You guys, it sells out all the time. And it takes us a long time to keep it in stock because it just sells out all the time. My husband uses it, my son uses it, I use it, and it just feels like delicious on your body. So yeah, so the soap is linked for you in the bio. You guys can go check it out. We have a lot of other really good, other products there. So check them out. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate you spending your Wednesday morning / afternoon with me, and I just hope you have a blessed day. Bye, guys.